since we're not doing a dare today, you must do a confession. So I want you to tell me if you have had any client locally come to you that has seen someone else and had a botched treatment.
Okay, so unfortunately, yes, I have, and it was probably the worst timing in a woman's life it could have been.
No.
Because it was actually for her wedding.
No.
Yes. So I had a client, to be honest, luckily she was clever and got treated, I think it must have been about 6 months out from the wedding.
Okay.
So it wasn't like her wedding's
room
next.
for movement.
Yes, yep. Thank God, because she went elsewhere. She had anti-wrinkle treatments done, and
quick question: Did she ever let the other clinic know?
I don't think so. I don't think she did, which she should have, because I think she was just a bit scarred.
Yeah.
And
what did she have done?
So she had anti-wrinkle in the upper face, so forehead, frown, crow's feet, and she looked a little bit insane. She was so frozen. Can you give me an
impression of what her face looked like?
Hang on, I've got to take the sunnies off. She was like,
I have had that. I'm not even lying. I've had that. So I was working in the industry, obviously, and there was a vial left, and because it was out of date, we couldn't technically use it on any client, but heck, I'm going to use this. Right. It's literally, a day out. And so I said to my injector, all right, sure, let's max out the forehead, let's do the frown. She's like, do you want your crow's feet done? And I was like, I've never had my crow's feet done, but you know what, do it.
Oh, no.
I did this on a Thursday night.
Yep.
And my husband, we were in Melbourne at the time, and my husband had come back down to Gippsland to catch up with the boys. It was done on a Thursday night, and he's probably gone Friday, come home Sunday. So it's kicked in by Sunday.
Yeah.
And he walks in the door and he goes to me, I don't know what you've done, but you look fucked. And I was just like, my eyes are literally like this. Yeah. And there's photos where I look like a freaking stunned.
And the hardest thing is with anti-wrinkle is obviously there's not really anything you can do. You just have to wait for
Keep
it to
smiling
wear.
and hope it goes.
Hope for it to wear off.
It was horrible. And literally, I have never done my crow's feet ever again.
Really?
Never. And only now I'm in a place where I'm like, you've got to. I think you're going to start working on it.
And I think so with this client, so she looked a bit crazy, and I think she was then obviously scared to get it done again, which is fair enough. So I just reassured her, look, you can always do a lighter dose. I'll get you back for a review, and then we can add some more, because it's easier to add more because we can't take away. Yes. Which is what I always say to clients. You'd rather have a bit of extra movement and we have to add a little bit extra than do too much, you hate the results, and we have to wait 3 or 4 months for it to wear off before we can retreat. So yes, that is what happened with that client, and we ended up obviously treating her for her wedding, and she was happy with it. She looked amazing, and it was all fine. It wasn't, luckily she didn't just come in, go to that injector the month before and be like, hey, I want this done. I would hope that the injector would say no, because it's your wedding. It's
were they new to the industry or seasoned?
As in the injector? I think they've been around a while.
Wow.
But
that's scary.
Yeah, but honestly though, we are lucky. We have heaps of great injectors in the area.
Yeah.
So super lucky that there's heaps of amazing people in our industry locally, which is good.
The biggest misconception you think that people have about injectables?
Oh, that's easy. That's an easy one. That they're gonna come out looking like a duck, or not themselves, or just crazy. And I always say to clients that the only people you notice that have had, I need my sunnies back on, so bright. The only people you notice that have had work done are those that are overdone.
And it takes a lot to overdo. Like I said to you, I've had at one point, I think 6 mil of filler in my face, and I looked freaking fabulous.
Yeah.
Like, what I would do to
natural.
have much. Yes. But obviously it was injected in all the right places. It wasn't overdone.
Yeah, so that's why I always say to people, like, there is, you know, down the street, if you see someone that looks a little bit overdone, yeah, okay, you're going to notice that because it's overdone. But there's also probably so many other people walking around that you just might think, oh, they look really fresh and nice.
Yes.
And you wouldn't know that they've had treatment done because it's been done right.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like the biggest misconception is that all, how do I say it? Volume replacement treatments will make you'll leave looking crazy, which you won't. A lot of the time people get their lips done or whatever, and like it's so natural that only they notice if that's the result that they want. Yeah, super subtle, which I feel like we're quite lucky because around here most people want natural results. You know, in the cities and stuff, sometimes people, they want to have a bit more work done, and
I feel like
that
the clientele
overfilled look, whereas down here people don't want that, which is great.
The clientele down here are more private about it as well.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
don't necessarily, and because it is a smaller town, they don't necessarily want everyone to know what they're getting.
No.
Whereas in Melbourne, it doesn't matter.
You know what? So because we actually work out of Cocoon Acupuncture in Traralgon. So we there's a few different businesses in the space. So obviously some people are coming in to see us, some people are coming in for acupuncture, people are coming in, we've got a midwife that works there, all different things. So you can be coming in to see us, but if you see someone there, you just say, hey, I'm getting some acupuncture, or hey, which I have clients that do that. They put in their calendar they're getting acupuncture, but I tell you what, they ain't getting acupuncture. So people actually really like, and where we're located is quite private.
Yes.
It's not like we're not right in the middle, smack bang down the street in the middle of town, so it is quite private. So, you know, you can duck into your appointment, duck out, no one's going to see you if it's something that, you don't want people knowing you're having done.
I'm definitely open about it. I always have been, but I think when you're in the industry, it's so much easier to be open about things.
It is. And I do think it's changing. Like, obviously these types of treatments are becoming more and more popular, so I don't think there's as much stigma around it as what there was. And it is,
and we're welcoming the anti-aging process.
Yes,
we're welcoming it, we're here for it, we love it. I mean, not everyone, but I definitely am, and I think society is more so. I think that society now is more so about the natural emphasis. Like, obviously everyone's reverting their treatments now. Like you know, what era, how many years ago do you reckon it was, like big lips, big cheeks, and now it's all about that. People,
so many people now are getting that all dissolved and wanting to be more natural, which is awesome. I feel like that is very much more on brand for our clinic too.
Yes.
Like we're not into overfilling, obviously, but
here for it. All right, I'm going to ask you a couple of beauty industry questions. What injectable treatment, do you think is really underrated?
Chin.
That's where I've had a lot of my work done.
Chin enhancements, because a lot of the time people, they don't come in asking for that, but when we do a full face consultation, you know, we're not just discussing one area, we're discussing the face as a whole. And sometimes, you know, I might recommend that to balance out that facial profile, you know, they could do it with a little bit in here, and then I talk to them through why and what that would look like. And then when we do that treatment, they're like, oh my god, I never thought of that. And then they have the treatment and they absolutely love it. So even for myself, I think chin was the first ever treatment for volume replacement that I had done ever. And that was because when I was actually doing training, another more experienced injector said to me, she's like, oh, you'd look really good with some chin enhancement treatment. Sorry, I'm trying not to say that word. And I was like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah. And then she did it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then ever since then I was like, oh my god, it's the best treatment ever for the right candidate.
That was probably my first big treatment as well. And it took 1, 2, 3, I think for the first time it was like 3 mil of filler in my chin.
Yeah, because you would have had like not just the chin done, you would have had like
filled throughout
your marionettes,
yes,
your gels and all that, all the area,
the whole area,
the whole thing. So yes, that is what I would say is the most underrated treatment.
All right, words of wisdom for other business owners.
Ooh, hang in there. I feel like it's really hard at the start, and even now, like obviously I'm working with you now, which is amazing, so I would highly recommend that. But just hang in there. It's obviously at the start it's so daunting, and getting those clients in the door, if you are in a client based industry, you know, it's hard to get those clients in the door. But once you've built really good relationships with your clients, then it just gets so much easier. We'll ask for help if you need it as well.
Love it. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thanks for having me.